Hey, this is Ryan Phillips here. This is my first video from the new location located on 8th Street in Fremont. Very nice little facility that we, actually it's not little at all, very nice large facility that we have. It's really cool to be part of Zappos also because it feels like we're kind of a part of something that's growing just like us. So I think this is like a symmetry between us and the Zappos Incorporated, which is pretty cool. One pointed out the CEO to us today. Seemed like a nice guy, just a regular guy with a great success story in this country. I was disappointed. I was worried that leaving the old art gallery wouldn't have any art to look at, but fortunately we had some, it looked like paper trees that were decorated in the room, so at least we had some art stuff to look at still, which I thought was pretty cool. I felt great going into today's game. I think I'm hitting like another chess growth spurt. The game against David Lucky gave me a lot of confidence, even in a losing effort. I felt like I was calculating almost on par with him. I think that's David's strong suit. Is he's a fantastic calculator, and no one at the club. I always feel like too many players at the club play a very tactical style. Even some of the higher rated players, I feel are more positionally oriented. But David's definitely more of a tactical player. So I feel like that kind of sparring session with a guy who's trying to kill me like I'm normally trying to kill my opponents was good for me. And I mean kill in a strictly chess sense, of course. So anyway, I played a little 1500 today, Cody, and it's hard to say. It's hard to get an accurate assessment of your chess when you're playing someone a little bit lower rated. Not that Cody's not a good player in his own right, but even against a 1500, I felt excellent today. I feel like I'm playing it very well. Probably the best chess that I've ever played, and I feel like I'm just getting better. And even this game was just like my opening choices and my decisions I thought were very wise for the most part. So I was white. So the game started Carol Khan, and I decided to go with the exchange because I thought it would kind of minimize my risk playing a lower rated player. And I thought it would be easier for me to get my pieces on active squares. So I was pretty happy with the way the opening went. So I went with the bishop d3 line, which I think was Bobby Fischer played this a few times, I believe. So it's a pretty solid little line, so knight c6. And then my first instinct was to play knight f3, but then I saw knight b4 might be an opportunity or maybe a small threat. So I ended up going with the best option, computer option of c3. And I never played this line. But that's not really a big deal to me anymore. I seem to play very well when I'm just trying to analyze the position the best I can and come up with moves. That seems to lead to actually pretty good results for me. So not being too much in books, not a big deal to me. So knight f6. Actually played knight f3 here, and I guess the computer's showing that bishop f4 is the main idea here, which I wasn't aware of that. So here we saw bishop g4. And then I opted for knight b to d2 here, just covering the rook. And I think so far black has developed very logically, just getting both their knights developed and getting their bishop on a good square outside of their pawn chain after they play e6. And it's kind of uncertain where this dark square bishop's going to go, either e7 or d6 followed by castle. I thought would be a reasonable plan. So even the computer showing that the position is equal already, I felt okay with what was happening at this point. So e6 was played. And then here I decided to play kind of aggressive here with queen a4. Just pinning this knight here and trying to get knight e5 in. So nothing too much to comment at this stage of the video. Just natural development moves, both sides trying to put a little bit of pressure on their opponent. So we have bishop d6 here. And then I anticipated this was the move to be played just to cover up the e5 square. But I played knight e5 anyway. And the idea is that after bishop takes e5, this would be a losing move because I will take on e5, hitting this knight on f6, and then once this knight moves, my queen on a4 is hitting this bishop on g4. So I thought this was kind of a cool alignment of my pieces that was very beneficial to me. So anyway, Cody was wise not to play this move, so he opted for queen c7, which I thought was a fine move. And I didn't consider taking the bishop for too long. I mean, it's obviously a reasonable move, but I just didn't like the feel of. I thought this light square bishop was a very weak piece, And I thought my knight on e5 was a very good piece, so I didn't really see the necessity to trade it off. So I figured I'd just continue. So I probably played with, I bet you the computer's not going to like this move too much, but I thought from a practical standpoint it was a fine move. I opted for f4. So computer's doesn't like it slightly, but nothing too significant. So here my opponent played a weak move. So this is a move where you can kind of see he's a 1500, not to degrade 1500s, and not to say that Cody won't keep getting better if he puts some time into the game, because I think he has a lot of talent for the game. But he played a move that didn't really address anything to do with the position. He played a6. And this move is pretty pointless because it doesn't even really stop bishop b5 at the moment, because if the pawn takes, I'll grab the rook. And also I really had no intention of playing bishop b5. I didn't think this was a move that really needed to be played, because I think rook c8 was always an option. And then if I took with the bishop and then the pawn took back, the a pawn is protected by the queen anyway. So bishop b5 was never an idea I intended to play, so I didn't really care for a6. So here I just castled. And then here I thought Cody played another bizarre move. He played bishop h5. And I think from here on out I played a pretty good game. So Cody did a good job of handling his opening problems. But after this bishop h5 move in conjunction with a6, he just wasted too much time. So I played knight d8 f3, getting a nice little bind on the center. And then this next move is probably the last decisive mistake where I don't think I gave much of a chance at this. He played this bad move knight d7 here, which I didn't care for at all. So here the computer is showing bishop e3, but I did not care for this move at all. I didn't really see why I would put my bishop on e3 here. It just seems to kind of block the action in my opinion. So I think the move that I played is a much better human move. Of course the computer sees everything, so there might be a reason why bishop e3 is better. I played bishop d2 here, which I think was a very logical move. Just to connect my rooks and put the rook on a1 to e1, where I'm exerting as much pressure in the center. So I don't know. I was real happy with my position at this point. The computer's showing that it's very even still. But I don't know. As far as ease to play, I think white is much better here. I mean, I'm castled, my pieces are connected. I have a good control of the center. I have a space advantage. The bishop on h5 is not nearly as good as my bishop on d3. And I think my bishop on d2, while maybe not quite as good as the bishop on d6, I think it's comparable, just because this bishop on d6 isn't doing anything in particular at this point. I mean, even though it's exerting pressure on the e5 square, since I have a piece there, there's no real worry about black pushing with e5. So I just thought my position was much easier to play here, and I was happy with my opening. Maybe my queen on a4 is a little misplaced at the moment, but it has a nice little retreat back to c2, which ended up happening in the game also, so I thought my pieces were on reasonably good squares. So here we saw f6, which was another weakening move. And I didn't play knight takes c6, I played knight takes d7. I'm not sure, I must have missed something in this line. I don't know, I'm not sure what's so great about this for white. Yeah, I don't like this variation. I don't know why computers getting a half pawn advantage for white here. I'm not seeing, that doesn't seem justified. I think the e6 pawn is obviously a big weakness, but after taking on d7, I think it's just as weak, if not weaker. So I don't really care for this line too much. I thought knight takes d7 was reasonable. And here we saw queen takes. And then I thought for a while here, I really wanted to play f5, which I think e5 is maybe a refutation for that, but there's still a part of me that thinks f5 could work, that this might be a decent move. I don't know, I can't imagine this. I don't know, this just looks risky, but I analyzed this far in my analysis, and yeah, maybe this is probably the reason why f5 doesn't work, or e5. So I tried for a while to make this f5 idea work, but to no avail. So let's continue with rook ae1, which I thought was a logical continuation after bishop d2. And then here Cody finally got castle kingside, which I thought was a good move. I played queen c2. So, I mean, I feel like I'm playing very well, and I mean, Cody made some inaccuracies, but I think he's playing reasonably well also. I think he's capable of putting together a game better quality than a normal 1500 would be able to put together in my estimation. So I think he's probably slightly underrated just from not playing all that often. But yeah, I was pretty happy with what was going on so far. So G6. And then here I probably played a questionable move. I'm not sure what the computer's going to think. This might be the only move of the game that I'm a little uncertain or about the quality of it. It might be a significant mistake. But I went with this knight h4 idea. And the idea was just to try to trap this bishop on h5 here. So I thought this was a good plan. And even in some variations, I thought I could play f5 at some point too, which was a move I really wanted to get in. I think if I could open up the position, the fact that my rooks are better placed than my opponent's rooks still, I think that's significant in this position. So here we saw e5. And then I played queen b3 here. And then I think Cody made the decisive blunder here with queen f7. So I think this move just loses pretty badly. So after queen f7, I took on e5. And then he played bishop e7. And I thought this move was a little inaccurate, but I thought it was okay. I played e takes f6. And here I think bishop d6 was the best move in the position. But Cody played bishop takes f6. I played bishop g5. And here my position is just completely winning, so I shouldn't butcher this too often. So then we saw knight takes d4, which I thought was an interesting try. C takes d4, bishop takes d4, and I opted for king h1. And the bishop on d3 guards the f1 rook, so I don't have to worry about any back rake mates at the moment. And then this position, Cody ended up playing queen d7, which was reasonable, and I played bishop e4, so pretty happy with myself. It's the computer's top move. Then we saw king g7. And here I maybe made a small inaccuracy, but I thought trading down was a good option for me, so I took the queen. And I was really expecting queen takes d5. I was pretty surprised when Cody played queen a4. So I took on b7 with check. King h8 was basically forced. Rook f7 just loses the rook. And then this move I was pretty happy to find. Not that it's like a particularly difficult move to find. Actually, for me, I think this is a move I might not have found a few years ago, or I probably wouldn't have played this move. But I found rook f7, which I thought was a good move. So Cody took, basically threatening eventual mate. So rook takes h7 and bishop d5 mate was a threat. Okay, bishop d5, rook f7 in repose, queen takes f7 mate. So rook takes f7. And I was happy that I played queen takes f7. I think queen takes a8, king g7 is not nearly as good. So I took. And here we saw queen a5, which I thought was the best move, but still losing. I played bishop f6, bishop takes, queen takes, king g8 is forced, queen e6 check. What did Cody play? King g7. And then I ended up playing second rate move here, but I thought good enough. Oh, I guess I missed the mate in 17 here, so I don't see everything. So should give some optimism to my opponents. But here I played bishop takes a8. And Cody resigned because it's a pretty trivial queen trade coming up, and I'm up a piece and a rook and a pawn. So yeah, I thought I played very well. Cody, of course, is an opponent I'm supposed to beat based on rating, and someone I have respect for Cody and everyone else in chess club, but I anticipated I should win this game with the white pieces. But I didn't think that I necessarily need to play this well. I was, I've been having some criticisms that I'm too tough on myself in some games, which might be true. But this I really want to heap a lot of praise on myself. I just felt really good going into the game. I thought I was going to play very well tonight. If I would have had a higher rated opponent, I'm not saying I definitely would have won, because you can never predict that. But I felt like I was going to put up a good game tonight, no matter who I played. I just felt kind of in that mood, and everything seems to have been clicking in my chest the last few weeks, which is weird for me, because I think the period before that I was going through a pretty bad slump. As my results were good, but my quality of play Yeah, but this game I felt like I saw quite a bit, and I thought my moves maybe while not the absolute best moves in every position, I think we're all very reasonable and logical in this game. The only move that was real interesting to me was this knight h4 move. So I'm not sure. Yeah, here I'm not sure if knight h4 is that great. I was thinking about playing h3, but I thought that this basically is just going to force bishop takes f3, and after rook takes, I didn't really see anything too great. So I think knight h4 is a nice move from a practical standpoint, just to make it hard for black to solve their problem with the light square bishop being out of play. So I think this was like one of the critical moments of me to find a good move. I think my opening choice is okay. Maybe I could choose something a little sharper where I could try to get a big opening advantage against a lower rated player. But I thought this type of position was good because I never felt like I was in any danger. And I felt like Cody had to find a lot of good strategic ideas to keep the equality, whereas all my moves were very easy to find. It was easy to find good squares for my pieces and connect my rooks. And I think it was also fairly easy to find middle game plans, basically just attack the king. All my pieces are kind of pointed towards the king. So I just have to come up with some creative idea to put maximum pressure on my opponent, and then, if your opponent handles the pressure well and doesn't let you through, then then they're playing well. So not much you can do about that, but I just figured I'd put some pressure on the king side and see what happens. So yeah, I was happy with this game. Jay-Z and I talked tonight, and he really convinced me that I have to make my videos, so I was happy for the words of encouragement. So I definitely will make the videos of the other 4 games from the Southern Nevada qualifier. I don't know when I'll do that exactly, but it'll be definitely before Thursday, so I'll try to do it by then. Another reason why I've been a little reluctant to make the videos is I've been finding some good little opening traps or weaknesses in some of my opponent's moves, and I fully anticipate that these lines will get played again, so I don't really want to give up some of my secrets, so I'm going to have to be careful with that. Not that I don't want to give the best quality video that I can, because of course I want to do that, but some of the stuff I found on the computer was just so clear that if the line gets repeated, I'll basically have a decisive win. So my opponent should be looking at the computer and noticing that also, but I have a hunch that maybe they're not, so I don't want to just give away these good moves that I've been finding with the help of the computer. But anyway, I hope you enjoy the videos, and I'm really happy that we have this new location. I just have a good feeling that good things are coming with this, and Juan and Sabrina have done a great job. That's an understatement. They've just done a wonderful job. They've been really good for Las Vegas chess, and without them, who knows where we'd be. So, when you have people that get stuff done and want things to be good for everybody, it's just really it's a good blessing. We're lucky to have people like them to really make chess a great experience in Las Vegas, and I think I think the club's just going to keep growing now that we have this location, and now that we have some support from the community. It seemed like in the past maybe we're kind of not ostracized, but we're kind of looked at as like kind of outcasts from society. But I feel like with Zappos Chip, giving us this nice location, I feel like we're really kind of part of the community, and I think when you kind of have that good feeling, good things just kind of seem to occur in ways you might not even expect. So I'm just really looking forward to what the future is going to bring, and I hope I have lots and lots of years of chess at this new club if everything goes according to plan, which I think it will. And I'm really optimistic. Definitely getting the chess bug again. I think a lot of chess friends I talk to, they go through those like spurts where they really want to play chess, and then they have like these little lulls. And right now I'm definitely in that really want to play chess mentality. And when you're playing good, I think it's easy to have the mentality. And I think I'm just it's tough. It's tough to gain rating points. I think once I'm starting to get towards the top of the ladder in the club. So it gets tougher and tougher to gain rating points when you keep playing lower and lower rated, not lower, but just people that are lower. When you play people that are rated lower than yourself, and that are very tough players, it's very difficult to gain rating points because you have to beat them a certain percentage of the time, which is very hard against some of the 18 and 1900 rated players at the club. But I think my playing strength is definitely improving, so as long as I can avoid making silly blunders, which I haven't really made many silly blunders lately. I don't see why I can't, keep marching forward and hopefully get to 2100 sometime. Hopefully by this time next year I'll at least be 2100, and hopefully I could get to master in the future. So that's definitely a goal of mine. And then from there, keep trying to get better, of course. So anyway, let me sign off. Do my signature sign off, trademark sign off here. And hope everyone enjoyed the videos or the video, and I'll definitely make some videos of the Southern Nevada qualifier, and hopefully you'll enjoy them as well. Thank you for watching.